Welcome to our daily reflection for this Friday, July 25th. And today, of course, every Friday we remember Good Friday, so we make a little sacrifice, a little fasting, something that we offer up in love for Christ and for the needs of others. And you might have somebody you want to offer something up for. This is a good day to do that on Fridays. And today it's also the feast of St. James. So we have in the gospel story today, James and John, who are accompanying, they're two of the 12, and their mother intercedes. So their mother, who's an ambitious mom, wants her boys to do well. She sees that Jesus is a very important person and that his kingdom movement is going somewhere. And she wants to secure a position in this kingdom for her son. So she asks Jesus a very bold request: may my son sit at your left hand and at your right hand when you come into your kingdom, when you have your power. Now, Jesus tells them they don't know what they're asking for, because of course the ones who are on Jesus' left and his right when he comes into his kingship will be the two thieves who are crucified with him. That's what will be on the left and right of Jesus. And so Jesus also asked them in a very enigmatic manner. He says, can you drink the cup that I am to drink? And be baptized with the baptism with which I'm to be baptized, referring to his own passion and death, the cup of suffering that he is to have. And Jesus is making it clear here that if you want to be close to Jesus Christ, he is the crucified one, and discipleship and conformity to Christ requires cruciformity. It requires being close to Christ on the cross. Now, of course, James and John, they're zealous, they're young, and they say, of course we can drink of this cup. And Jesus says, the cup I will drink, you will drink of. But to sit on my left and on my right is not mine to grant, but that of my Father, right? But you will drink of the cup. And of course, that's the cup of martyrdom that Jesus himself will drink and that James will also drink. And so James, of course, will become an apostle and a disciple, and he will end up being buried in modern day Spain today, right? Which is the coastlands afar off, as it was known in the time of Peter and James and John and Jesus. And when James is buried there, it becomes a place of pilgrimage. Why do people make pilgrimage there? Well, they make pilgrimage because they know that James is a close friend of Jesus, and they ask for his intercession, for his prayers, because James is close to the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. And so they ask for the apostles' intercession on their behalf. And so even today, it's a very famous pilgrimage place, the Camino in Spain, to go on the way of St. James. And so that Camino is a beautiful pilgrimage, and I've been on it and have been edified to be on there, to make pilgrimage and to go to the apostle and to ask for his intercession. And there's a gorgeous, magnificent cathedral of St. James. And what I reflected on in that pilgrimage is that God honors his friends. Those who are faithful and loyal to Jesus, he blesses and he honors. Even to this day, there's a feast day dedicated to St. James, celebrated all over the world. And there's the beautiful Cathedral of St. James, where so many pilgrims come. And God gives great honor to his saints, to his friends. And so let's reflect on that today. Even though, as Paul says in the first reading, we carry this treasure in earthen vessels. And that's skuos was the Greek word for that. And that was the term for the clay vessels that would carry the sacrifices in the temple. And as Paul describes it, we carry this great grace, this incredible treasure of the love and the grace of God, this divine power in our earthly bodies, these jars of clay, so to speak. And in our sufferings, we make an offering to God, just as James did as he drank from the cup. And sometimes we drink from the cup not in a red martyrdom, but in a white martyrdom, little sips from these earthen vessels. But that's all right. We want to offer up out of love, to be cruciformed, to be conformed to our Lord Jesus Christ. So today, maybe we're not called to be martyrs like James, but we can offer up our bodies as living sacrifices, as Paul refers to it in that first reading. So let's do that. Let's make an offering, especially on this Friday, as a sacrifice to Christ, that we may be cruciform with our crucified Lord. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.